Living as a witch in the Bible Belt. Have you ever wondered what it's actually like to live as a witch in the middle of the Bible Belt? Because it's complicated. Almost everyone I know is a Christian in one way or another. My parents, my in-laws, most of my extended family, most of my neighbors, and most of the people in my community. I didn't grow up surrounded by witches. I didn't have a coven. I didn't even have a witchy friend. So how did I end up here? Well, it's actually kind of a funny story. I was about 10 years old when I watched The Craft. Like a lot of kids my age, I was absolutely fascinated. I thought witches could change their eye color, change their hair, make impossible things happen. And honestly, I wanted that. I wanted this little group of girls practicing together. Looking back now, it was a very Hollywood version of witchcraft, but it opened the door. Now I remember this was before Google. Yahoo is what we had. So I started searching, and let me tell you, those old Yahoo forums were basically the Reddit of today. You could ask one question, and suddenly someone was telling you that if you forgot your circle of salt, your entire family was going to be possessed by demons. It's actually kind of funny. You had to surround yourself with white light, cast a perfect circle, say everything exactly right, and make sure that it rhymed too. Or somehow you'd accidentally open a portal to absolute chaos. It was wild. But as a 10-year-old, it was terrifying, but fascinating. But here's the funny thing. The more I grew up, the more I realized I didn't really become a witch at 10 years old. I had kind of always been one. At least, that's how it feels when I look back. Even before I knew what the word witch was, I was the kid who was the happiest outside. I'd spend hours wandering the woods. Animals just seemed to gravitate to me. I was constantly bringing home creatures that most parents probably wouldn't allow. I made little potions from plants. I wrapped leaves around imaginary injuries because somehow I felt like they were healing. Even though then I didn't know the names for herbs, nobody taught me any of that. I was simply curious, and nature felt like home. As I've gotten older, I realized that my practice has become much quieter than what first attracted me, and less about the movie magic and more about connection. Connection to nature, the seasons, herbalism, mindfulness, community. It's become less about casting spells and doing rituals, and more about living intentionally. But living that way in the Bible Belt isn't always easy. There are absolutely people out here who are accepting. Some are simply curious, some don't care one way or another. But there's also plenty who don't understand it at all. A while back, I made a post looking for local witches who might want to get together. Nothing dramatic, just community. Maybe have tea, talk herbs, celebrate the seasons. Maybe bring our kids along. Human connection. But instead, I got several comments telling me, you need Jesus. I'm praying for your soul. Things like that. Honestly, I've gotten used to it. Maybe this surprises some people, but I usually just tell them thank you. Because I genuinely appreciate when someone wants good things for me. If someone believes praying is the best way that they can care about me or another human being, I'm not going to be the one offended by that. We may not believe exactly the same things, but kindness is kindness. And their fear, that's their fear. It's not mine. That doesn't mean those comments never hurt, because sometimes they do. Especially when they're coming from people who have already decided who you are without ever talking to you. There's also another side of this that people don't often think about. I am self-employed. I work with people. I'm an author. I'm building a business. When I openly started sharing my spirituality, I absolutely noticed a difference. Some people quietly stopped following. Some clients choose someone else. Some opportunities just completely disappeared. That's just the reality of it. Whether it's fair or not, it's something that you have to think about before ever going public about your beliefs. There are pros and there are cons, and every person has to decide whether authenticity is worth whatever may come with it. And for me, it was. Do I wish I had more local witch friends? Absolutely. When I was younger, I was perfectly content being on my own. Now as I've gotten older, and especially as a mom, I understand how important community really is. Not because I need someone to validate my beliefs, but because it's nice to sit around a table with people who simply understand you without needing an explanation. At the end of the day, I'm still the same person. I'm still a wife. I'm still a mom. Still a beekeeper. Still an herbalist. I'm still someone who is loving what I do. I love helping people. The label witch didn't change who I am. It simply gave me a name to the way I've already been living most of my life. I'd love to hear from you, whether you're Christian, pagan, spiritual, atheist, or somewhere in between. Have you ever felt like you didn't quite fit where you live? Tell me your story in the comments. Let's have a respectful conversation. Because I think we probably have more in common than we realize.